Welcome everybody to the Jim Hickey podcast, the A to Z of success in the ring. Jim, this week we're looking at the whole element of, I suppose last week we focused on feeling out of control, but another angle or another thing that people face is they start to really doubt themselves, or what we would say, drowning in doubt, that you just can't seem to knock yourself out of that feeling of lack of confidence, doubting yourself, really in a very negative place with it. Trying to figure out really, how do you flip that switch? How do you get yourself out of that pattern? How do you break that pattern? Especially when you're coming to show day and the nerves are at you and all the little negative thinking is coming into you, and you're really starting to doubt yourself. So what's your experience with riders around that?
Well, thank you, Connor, and everybody. You're very welcome. Firstly, we're human beings and we'll always have it. So you're not alone. Some people feel that I'm very bad, that I have all these doubts. No, it's normal. We're human beings. To recognize that, number one. Number two is you have to understand there are normally three areas of doubt, and recognizing them and understanding which one you have. So one doubt can be very overwhelming. You're just overwhelmed with everything and you're just doubting everything. And a lot of that time, in that certain place, you need to break the pattern. And the quickest way to break pattern is breath work. And as trainers would say, take a breath. And I would say, take many breaths. And if you can sit and if you feel your brain is just going like a galloping horse, you must stop and recognize, and then make yourself sit and breathe consciously. If maybe start off with one calm breath. If you can get to 20, it's brilliant, but even 5. What that does, you need to just breathe and slow down your heart rate, because our heart starts to race, and then our brain starts to just absolutely go out of control. It's like a runaway horse, and that's covers doubt, because the brain isn't logical, it's gone too fast. And just taking those moments out to breathe consciously. I'll do a meditation later on, but that's even this big breath I'm taking in now and releasing the tension out through my feet. Now it sounds simple as I'm explaining it, but to stop and recognize it, sometimes I catch myself and I see I'm going, and my brain is trying to catch up, and I'm recognizing it, and to tell myself, stop, Jim, just stop, take a breath. That one breath just calms me down, and I release all the energy, the fast energy, and I bring calm energy to myself. But if you can do 3 breaths, I'll just give you a quick example. If everybody can join in. Straight away I've broken the pattern. And you as riders, you do it all the time. If the horse is getting strong, you bring the horse back to a walk and you switch off the horse, and that's what we must do. We need to switch off, breathe in and release it, and that allows your brain then to calm down, which gets rid of the doubt. So that's one biggest, easiest, quickest way to do it, and that's the solution. Now, 2 other areas of doubt comes when you doubt yourself in the build up to the course, to the competition, and this happens a lot. And it doesn't matter what level riders are at. They could be amateurs to professionals, and again, I want each rider to know that you're not alone. This is a natural human experience, and the reason doubt comes in because you maybe haven't done it before. I was with a rider recently, and she was stepping up to a new level, and just the 2 holes higher had brought uncertainty to her because she was doubting that she could do it, and that was a mindset. So we worked through the mindset. We did mantras, and I did meditations to relax her into the belief, this new belief that she can do it. And that's natural too. With everybody stepping up, it doesn't matter how low you start, a new level, it's something new, and it's just brings that doubt. But you have to work through it, and you have to come up with solutions, statements, incantations, mantras that will give you the certainty that you can do it. Then there's another doubt. It's when you bring in a horse back from an injury, or you've given the horse time out and you're stepping that horse up again, or you're coming back from an injury yourself and you just have this uncertainty, this doubt. And that's normal too, but you have to work through it. Your brain, your mind, your head has to work through it. And most people, when they're doubting, their questions get faster and faster in the brain, and to understand that's normal. And again, take a breath and relax and go back to classes that when you were riding on your best before an injury, or go back to when the horse that you're going to compete in this class was competing really well, that you're proud of, and connect to the feeling how you felt when you're before an injury. And that brings a certainty into your heart. It brings a certainty of, I've got this, so you're training your brain to flood yourself with these positive memories. And then inside here, the excitement will come. The fear in your brain will start to disappear, and the certainty will come back here. But you have to go through these statements to write them down, these mantras, and then to slow it down then with meditation to relax into it.
Like just an analogy that it's not an analogy, I went through it. I remember doing final exams before going to college, and it was a huge deal whether you got into college or not. And my best subject at the time was physics. I loved chemistry and physics. But believe it or not, that hour before that exam, I felt like my whole mind just went blank. I was like, I can't remember anything. I actually don't remember anything. And it was complete, that sense of literally drowning in doubt, going, I'm going to mess up my whole life, my whole career. It was just blowing everything out of proportion. Mm-hmm. And really, you could nearly feel the blood draining out of my face, that sense of like, I'm not actually good enough to do this. But once, like you said, I kind of took a breath, went away and just said, look, you have to handle this. And in some way kind of hand it over to the universe in some way, so that you can kind of not overanalyze yourself. And in the end, it actually ended up being my best result. So, but it's one of the things I would have done at the time, was kind of, I have to hand this over some way, it's not take it ever so personal.
Well, it's like what I would notice, what happened to you, Conor, you handed it over, and you had to trust that you had your homework done. Yeah. And of course you get overwhelmed, and it's natural, and it can be healthy nerves if you have your homework done, and if you've been diligent. And of course it's kind of a big shock, oh my God, but breathing through it and handing it over is what you did. And I'd say, and again, knowing you, that you would have reminded yourself, I've this done already, like you're doing your favorite subject, like, so it's, you probably more than likely had a chat with yourself. Riders have to ride these new courses every single time, and course builders challenge them, so that's always uncertainty. But when they remind themselves that they've done it before previously at other levels and with horses at the same level, you go back to that feeling of certainty. I can do this, and you replace the doubt with absolute certainty. But you have to do the mental work. You have to do the routines, the mantras, the techniques to get you back into that peak state. That's really important. And if you don't do it, you're going to continue to drown in it. So I want people to release that feeling of drowning in doubt to feeling that they're swimming with pure flow. They're in a rhythm with their horse, and flow with the course, to connect to that feeling, to get rid of that doubt. And by watching and recreating their past memories, tapping into how they felt their animal was, that's going to bring them certainty.
That's an interesting thing. You said call it a mantra. A lot of people wouldn't know what a mantra is. You'd hear a lot with meditation. I had to say a mantra or whatever, but I never really knew what that was until recent years. But it's interesting then to put it in the context of actually going into the ring. So you talk about, maybe you've often talked about having a ring mantra. What does that mean?
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's for another podcast. Yeah,
but it's still self-talk, is it?
Yeah, it's self-talk, of course. Like, the doubt is limiting thoughts. The doubts, as I said earlier, we're human. We're always going to have doubts, but we have to catch our brain. We have to train our brain continuously. And I'm a big fan of not just train your brain, but you have to stay relaxed in your heart. You could have all the answers up here, but if you're not calm inside, and horses feel energy, the horses feel if you're relaxed or not. They feel your certainty, they feel your leadership. So it's so important to have yourself in this state where you're relaxed and you have certainty in your mind. You know, your mind is awake, it's sharp, it's smart, and your heart is relaxed. Because if you're rushing and if you're nervous, and even though you know it up here, your horse will feel that negative energy. They'll feel that tension. So you have to relax into this place and going to the restroom again, as I spoke in other, or going someplace quiet. Recently a rider said in Europe, I go to my truck and I get myself into this relaxed state. I listen to the meditations in the online so that I can calm my energies. And that's smart, but you have to watch yourself. You have to keep an eye on yourself. Now, ideally, it's not something you're going to do just before the ring. You have to have it worked out. Like when riders call me, or when I'm at the ring, they can tell me and I can get them into, find out what they really want with questions and then do a meditation to drop them into the place where they're at peace and they're relaxed so their brain can be smart and they can ride cool and calm and in the flow so the drowning disappears.
It's very powerful, and me coming back to my physics and science background, but they have actually, you'd say, well, how does a horse pick up what's going on in your heart, or how does it feel everything? But they've actually scientifically proven that your heart creates a magnetic field, and it can pick up, it spreads like 6 feet at either side of us. So the stronger our energy or the more balanced our energy, the horse, it's like two magnets coming together and you sync.
Absolutely. Sometimes a beautiful thing. Sometimes I'm speaking to riders before they go in and we're just chatting, we're just saying, we'll take some calm breaths. 9 times out of 10, the horse relaxes too. They go, because we're all just breathing together, this calm energy. It's beautiful, and riders always it's a lovely shift in energy. But it's, and you have to recognize, every rider listening, that there's a lot going on in this very narrow period of time. You're riding a course nobody's ever ridden before, because the course builder builds a new one all the time, and you're trying to remember your numbers, your distances. You're trying to warm up and get the relaxed, correct warm up you need, and then you're going to the in gate. That's another timing, and then you're going into the ring, and then you've normally 2 courses to ride, and there's just so much mental work, and it's such a tight period. So it's so important to make sure you're not drowning in doubt, that you can bring this calm energy and understanding there's a team behind you. Like, there's so many people that have got you to this place. Of course, you're doing it for yourself, you're number one, but you owe it to yourself to be in this relaxed, calm mind, and where you have certainty and not doubt, and you're not drowning in doubt. So working through this, and that's why I'm thrilled to be doing today and helping to not to be drowning in doubt and to give these tools and techniques.
Is there any kind of technique that you use that kind of helps people flip the switch in the moment, that they can use, like, or something that can break that pattern fast? I know it's breath work, but is there anything else that they can use?
Yeah, you can use, well, we'll talk about that in the next episode, like a kind of language that you need to flip the switch going into the ring. You really have to get into your zone. You can have all the production of the horse and the connection and the rideability. But when you go into that ring, you have to flip that switch, and I will give on the next one, Connor. But when you're doubting, the doubt is because you're overthinking in your head and you're questioning everything. And the answer to that is to let go of the overthinking and to think back of when you felt brilliant, when you felt amazing, fantastic, riding the courses that you're so proud of, and think of the horse you're riding and how well that horse has done. Or if it's a new horse, think of all the other rounds you've ridden well. So, or if you're stepping up, that you have this certainty you can do it. That you have this absolute certainty is the opposite to doubt. So
it's kind of a visualization and stepping into that great round you had and stepping into that identity rather than.
And you have to feel into it, lean back and think and memorize how you felt, how you thought and how you felt and how you rode with flow and rhythm. and pace and connection. And when you get into that lovely flowing energy, you bring that certainty to you. So you have to use your brain to get there and then relax into it with your heart. And it's given quiet time, really. It's hard if you leave it too late to the ring. Of course, if I'm there, I have tools and techniques to help. But ideally, getting yourself into the zone beforehand, the night before, so that you're relaxing in, so you get to enjoy the whole process.
That's a good point, actually. So if people kind of suffer from that sense of doubt or whatever, how do they break the pattern? Does it like take... Do you notice over 2 or 3 weeks, if they do meditations, that starts to seep into their subconscious and they start to let go of this doubt? Like,
Yeah. I got a lovely speaking to a writer who was giving me feedback from the online course, and he said that there are different meditations I listen to that gets me into the zone if I'm doubting in one area, because as a writer there's so many challenges, there's so many things can come up. It's probably the most, as I said before, the most unusual sport, because you have these beautiful horses, ponies, that have a mind of their own, a heart of their own, and you're trying to connect and with that animal, and also you're trying to jump a course that a course builder is challenging you on new lines and new distances, new angles all the time. So you have a lot going on, and really it's you really want to turn up to the show relaxed and calm and full of belief. And as much as you can, it happens the night before. You watch these rounds that you've ridden that you're proud of, and you get into the feeling that I've got this, and you study and write down. I'm a big fan of writing, as I always say. Write down, I've got this, and I have the certainty I can do it. Statements, mantras, rituals that will shape your day tomorrow, and working through that. And again in the mornings, a big fan of last thing at night, first thing in the morning. You flood your subconscious. You don't let it, you get in there before the doubts kick in. Because the minute you get up in the morning, you have a fresh canvas, and unless you start filling that up with certainty. A writer told me a lovely story. She said, I told her this a number of years ago, that what you listen to first thing in the morning, you become. And she explained, I cut out the news. She said it was normally the first thing I'd watch, and now I read my journal, and I find that I am enjoying my day so much more. And I wouldn't have believed that, but before, the first things would be the thing in my mind all day long. It would be the front of my mind, and I'd be trying to get the writing to the front, but I'd keep coming back to the story I heard when I put on the news in the morning. So now my news stories are of me competing and me riding, and everything to do with success that I want.
so yeah, like I'd see that myself. I give up doing basically on your advice, but like when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you naturally do is you pick up your phone, and it's almost like built into your nervous system to flick to check your email, and all of a sudden there's something in, and you're automatically in fight or flight mode. You're already have a problem to deal with, or you see something on social media and it's like triggers you or whatever it is, but you're not setting your day up for you. It's like the phone is taking over you.
I say to writers, be your own Instagram.
Jeez, that's a great line.
Be your own
I've
Instagram.
never heard that before now.
Yeah, be your own Instagram. Create your own story. Read your own story. Connect to your own story. See it, smell it, taste it, touch it. Make it your own.
I know you a long time, but I didn't hear that one before. That's actually brilliant. Yeah. No, it's a great way of looking at it, and I think what hits us most is when we think of different metaphors or different ways of being. But being your own Instagram is, and what's your future life going to be? What do you want to manifest? What do you want that Instagram feed to look like?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great way of looking at it.
Yeah.
So, Jim, you might bring us into a meditation all around overcoming drowning and doubt then.
Absolutely. Thank you, Connor. And for all your writers, I want you just to take this time for you as each individual. This is your time to just drop into this place where you're going to know the tools to let go of this fear of doubt and drowning in it. So we're going to begin with breath work again. Take the calm, relaxing energy into your bodies. Just breathe in into your lower stomach and release the doubt through your feet. Release the stress of them. Breathe in certainty, absolute certainty in your in breath. Release the doubt with your out breath. And as you breathe in, Breathe in that energy, that positive, certain energy, and out the negative, doubtful energy. Now breathe in relaxation to your mind, your brain, your head, permission to release. Just hear the words and go into a space of nothingness. And in this place of nothingness, feel your right shoulder, left shoulder relax. Your right arm, left arm relax. Your right hands, left hands relax. Relaxing your right foot, left foot, your right leg, left leg. Relaxing your upper back, lower back. Relaxing into this peaceful place. Peace in your heart. Certainty in your mind. Certainty in your brain. Certainty in your head. Knowing that you've got this. Everything is possible. Open to all opportunities. Enter into this place of absolute certainty. Breathing in, breaking patterns as you breathe. Consciously into your relaxed heart, your calm heart. Breathing in certainty into your brain. Breathing in with this calm, relaxed energy that you and your horse has done it before. Or you look back on rounds and other horses where you've done it, where you had certainty. You lean into that feeling, that connecting feeling of certainty, that connected feeling of getting it and having it before, and step into owning it. Step into this is who you are. It's your identity. It's your future. It's your DNA. You ride with certainty, absolute certainty. Feel the feeling, whether it's recovering from an injury. You go back watching when you were at your best before, whether it's a horse recovering or a horse at a break. You're stepping back up again, stepping into the ring. You just lean back to all those emotional high celebrating feelings of the past when it felt amazing, when you've rode with certainty. Now know that the next class will be written with certainty because you're flooding your heart, flooding your mind, your brain, your head with these thoughts of certainty. You're filling it up. You're flowing it and overflowing it. From 1 to 2, feel it, step into it. 2 to 3, own it. Know that you've got this. Know that this is who you are. Double that feeling of certainty. Treble that feeling of certainty. Step it up again. Give it more energy, more belief. 6, 7, 8, 9. You've got this. You've got this certainty. It's who you are. You're owning it from the past victories, the past triumphs, the past champions that you are. All those times you stepped up and you felt amazing, you felt awesome. You've got this. And by now you're in this place. By now you're certain. By now you've got this. You've got this. Remembering the future you. Remembering who you are. Remembering your identity. Remembering the energy that you create. 8, 9 and 10. Good job.
Super meditation as always, Jim. So on the next episode we're going to focus on the energy of your inner warrior, bringing out that inner warrior so that you can have ultimate success in the ring.